this is me. I told you I am him. I told you I am him. The gloves is off now. The paperwork that he showed, that's not his indictment. I'm not in his indictment. Like I said, if I ever sent a nigga to jail or anything ever came out my mouth, helped sent a nigga to jail or got a nigga convicted, and I said I'd never talked to a federal grand jury or went to a federal grand jury and testified in front of a 12-man grand jury. The grand jury is where a nigga go in front of 12 people and sit down and tell on another nigga and get him indicted. That's the grand jury indictment. I've never did that.
In a recently published video on public figure Boogie TV, Street Lord Jesse James would admit to having a 5k1 in his federal jacket, which doesn't look good and isn't sitting well with his fans. In the following clip that has since been deleted from his Instagram account, Street Lord Jesse James would attempt to explain how he obtained the 5k1 and offers to off himself if someone can produce any individual that he sent to prison as a result of it.
I never said I didn't have no 5K. My 5K come from me telling the truth about what I did and what role I played on my own indictment. Whoa, calm down, calm down. I wasn't looking at number 33 months. 33 months. I've been to the jail. So don't act like a nigga scared to go to jail, so you told because you got to go to jail. I got the 5K because my nigga, my right-hand man was looking at 18 years and wrote me letters saying, dog, they gonna slam me, dog. They gonna do this, they gonna do that, nigga, and they gonna slam you, nigga, if you go to trial, nigga. My phone was tapped. They know everything, nigga. If you go to trial, they gonna come in there with the phone transcripts and play in front of the judge and prosecutor and the witness, and the jury that we robbed them niggas in Arizona for £1,000 and everything that we ever talked about on the phone, nigga, they gonna fry you, nigga. Go in there, plead guilty, take the plea, accept responsibility, and let's get home, nigga. And by me doing that, nigga, my nigga benefited from it, so he didn't get the 18 years. On top of that, they was trying to put majority of the pounds on him. I went in there and said I was getting 8,000-9,000 in the pounds I was getting. Everybody know me. I've been one of the biggest hustlers in Detroit, but ain't nowhere in the world I ever 10,000 pounds. Nigga, I did that for my nigga. Nigga, I ate that one, nigga. And for doing that, my 33 months got cut down to 18, nigga. I ain't do that because I'm working with no prosecutor, nigga. Like I said, this nigga showing paperwork with some names there up top. Nigga, only person I know up there is Rook. Nigga, I don't know why you showed that, nigga. And the day, but hold on. Like I said, if it's a nigga in jail that could come on Instagram and say, you told on me and that's what got me indicted. You jumped on my case and helped the federal government convict me. You helped them sentence me. If a nigga can do that, 1, 2, 3, I lie to Father, the universe, I love you, peace, freedom, and justice, lies, my protector, my God, and my salvation, my name, my day, those holy prophet, number 2, amen. Bow!
All right, peace. You already know where you at and who you rocking with, right? Right. So let's get to that then. Yo, check it out, man. After I got flooded with a plethora of comments, like this one, oh, and don't forget this one. I did a little bit more research on this 5k1 issue. 5k1.1 motion to be exact. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta call a spade because I do just that. You feel me? It's not looking good for Jesse James, dog. Juan ain't apologized. Juan ain't took back nothing he said. But Jesse James took back what he said. That's interesting. And I've been watching. I've been on Juan Instagram. I've been on Jesse Instagram. I ain't got no dog in this fight. You feel me? But I'm going to call it like I see it. And I ain't gonna say I was wrong, I'm gonna say I was misinformed a little earlier. You dig what I'm talking about? So shout out to everybody that informed me correctly as I visited, Lewis and Dickenstein website. Lewis and Dickenstein are criminal defense attorneys located in Southfield, Michigan and surrounding areas. And they talk about the 5K1 and I think a 35B, something like that. We're going to get into all that. But first, let's get into some things that he said, yo. In the clips y'all just heard, one of the things he said is that he never testified in front of a grand jury. And he didn't have to. As I read the website on Lewis and Dickenstein, it says a 5K1 motion is a written motion the United States Attorney's Office files with a federal court judge requesting a sentence below the applicable sentencing guidelines because a defendant provided substantial assistance in the prosecution of other individuals. Now, he tried to make it seem as if he went in there and told on himself in his own particular indictment. That cannot be true. It cannot be true by the law. You dig what I'm talking about? It says a 5K1 motion will typically result in a shorter sentence if granted. A defendant can provide substantial assistance by providing helpful information. That's one way. Testifying at a grand jury, which he says he didn't do. That's another way. Providing officers with opportunities to collect additional evidence. That's another way, and more. So he could have helped in a multitude of ways outside of going to the grand jury, which is something that he said he did not do. That's the grand jury indictment. Y'all heard him say that, right? I never said that I didn't plead guilty. Okay. Of course you did. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course you pled guilty, I mean to say. I never said I didn't have a 5K1. Now that right there, in a nutshell, right there says that he told on somebody, flat out. You know what I mean? I believe Brick has passed away, RIP to Brick, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him or his family or his people, but he's only including himself in Brick. And he's saying that he went in there to tell some stuff to get Brick off the 18-year sentence. So either he told on Brick or he told on some other people in a different organization, or maybe some dudes from Arizona or something like that. I don't know. He's saying he's not in Juan's paperwork though. He like, I'm not, that's the paperwork he's showing. I'm not in that paperwork. This and that and the other. Only name I see up there is Rook and Blase Splee. Well, according to him saying he got a 5K1, he got to be in somebody's paperwork. It's an absolute fact in my mind. He said Brick said that they gonna smash us if we go in there and plead not guilty. They're gonna play the tapes of how we robbed them niggas for 1,000 bowls in Arizona. Well, the feds didn't come get you for robbing niggas for 1,000 bowls in Arizona. That's for sure. They're not coming to arrest you for robbing drug dealers. So something happened, and maybe that drug dealing shit came out. You feel me? That robbery shit came out, and this and that and other. Maybe he had to tell on the dudes that had 1,000 pounds or whatnot, where he was at. This is all hypothetically speaking. I don't know. But one thing we know for sure is if he had the 5K1, then he said something to somebody. You feel me? What else he say? Me telling the truth about my role I played on my own indictment. I wasn't looking at nothing but 33 months. 33 months is roughly 2 years and like 9 months. Right? And he got that cut to 18 months, so he must not have provided a substantial amount of assistance for them because, let's see. If you scroll down a little bit, it says substantial assistance. It says substantial assistance, 5K1 motions, and Rule 35 motions. Let's click on that. Let's click on that. Now, it gives an example when you click on that. It says, what is substantial assistance? Substantial Substantial assistance is a term often heard in the media when federal criminal cases of public interest are in the news. And then it gives an example. It shows Goodfellas. It says good. Now this is bad for this. This is what's bad for the outlaw. It shows Goodfellas. It says in the 1990 movies Goodfellas, Henry Hill provided substantial assistance to the government. So they're using that as an example for substantial assistance. That's saying he a rat. We all know Henry Hill was the one that testified against everybody. He the one the movie is based on. He the one narrating the movie the whole time or whatnot. He the one that told on the bosses in the end. So the example they gave is of a rat and of the Goodfellas movie. So check this out. It says substantial assistance is provided is a process by which the federal criminal defendant helps the government to investigate and prosecute crimes committed by persons other than the defendant. That did it right there. If he got a 5K, he had to do that. Exactly what I just said. It says a defendant can provide substantial assistance in a variety of ways. For example, a defendant might provide information to the government regarding a person that has been committing crimes, which then leads to the arrest and prosecution of that person. In some cases, substantial assistance can mean that a defendant actually goes to court and testifies at a trial or hearing against the co-conspirators. If you have ever seen the 1990s movie Goodfellas, the character Henry Hill provided substantial assistance to the government when he testified against the organized crime bosses for whom he worked. In return, Henry Hill avoided prison. See, again, they give the example of Henry Hill, the rat in the movie Goodfellas, as being substantial assistance. Why would the federal criminal defendant decide to cooperate with the government and provide substantial assistance? Well, I don't think we need to know that. Everybody knows that or whatnot, so I'm going to skip that one. What is a 5k1 motion? Federal district court judges use the United States sentencing guidelines to help them decide the appropriate sentence to give a defendant. In the sentencing guidelines, there's a section called 5k1.1. The 5k1.1 motion section states that if a defendant has provided substantial assistance in the investigation or prosecution of other persons who have committed crimes, the judge can take that substantial assistance into consideration at sentencing and impose less punishment upon the defendant. Further, if the 5k1.1 motion cites the law known as the 18th USC 3553E, then the judge can impose a sentence below the applicable minimum mandatory sentence. Now, Rule 35 is tricky. They say that's after sentencing, so that don't apply here. They say after you get sentenced and this and that and the other, they have filed for the Rule 35. We don't even need to go into that. So let's look at this right here. It says, who decides whether or not a defendant will get a 5k1 or motion or a Rule 35 motion? Only the government, also known as the federal prosecutor, can file a 5k1.1 motion or a Rule 35 motion. So that right there says he worked with the prosecutor in one way, shape, form, or fashion. Like I said, I ain't got no dog in this fight. I fuck with them both. Shit, I still fuck with Jesse. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. A lot of niggas don't like what they did once they done it and it come out to the public, and that's the way it's beginning to look. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest here. That's the way it's beginning to look. He said, I didn't get no 5k1 because I was working with the prosecutor. Don't make it seem like I was just scared to go to jail. I done been to jail. Well, this right here says the only way you can get that motherfucker is if you working with the prosecutor, the federal prosecutor, dog. And this is on, again, Lewis and Dickenstein's website. Anybody can go click on it and look it up or whatnot. It says, who decides how much credit a defendant will get for providing substantial assistance? Only a federal district court judge can decide how much credit a defendant should get for his or her substantial assistance. How does a federal judge determine how much credit to give for substantial assistance? It says, when deciding how much credit to give a defendant for his or her substantial assistance to the government, the judge will consider these factors: the significance and usefulness of the defendant's assistance, taken into taking into consideration the government's evaluation of the assistance rendered. Now, like I said, he got 33 months cut to 18. So he must not have told too much or been too helpful, but at the same time, he still told. You know what I'm saying? He told something he had to. The truthfulness, completeness, and reliableness of the information or testimony provided by the defendant, the nature and extent of the defendant's assistance, any injury suffered or any danger or risk of injury to the defendant or his family resulting in his assistance. Now that one right there says that somebody is telling. That one right there alone, any injury suffered or any danger, or it says any injury suffered or any danger or risk of injury to the defendant or his family resulting from his assistance. Come on, man. We all know what that is. That's telling. You feel me? The timelessness of the defendant's assistance. The timelessness. And that could mean dog could be telling for a long time. The timelessness of the defendant's assistance, meaning how long he's been an informant. Not saying that Jesse James has been an informant for a long time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just defining what the line meant and what they were saying, basically, how the judge determines how much credit to give someone for their substantial assistance. So like I say, dog, I just had to get back on this subject because I faced a lot of backlash over my opinion on it. Yeah, I'm green. Somebody said, boy, get your green ass out of here. You act like you don't know how the system works. And I had to tell dog, listen, homie, I ain't never been to federal prison. You act like going to jail is a badge of honor, homeboy. What the fuck wrong with you? Nigga, get out. You know what I mean? Cut it out, dog. You know what I mean? But at the same time, dog was right. You feel me? According to the law, as stated, the only way you can get that is if you do that. So dig this here. You jump in the comment box. You let me know how you feel about it. I'll get back at y'all with an update the next time around, man. But until then, all I got to say is this, dog. Peace to the gods and earths. Until we meet again. I'll be back.